Good morning, everyone. This is a little intro video on my E Bike 360 camera that I'm using. It's the Insta360, and I'll go over the equipment I use for its mounting and some of the process things I do to get it processed afterwards. It's a little more complicated. And the bike I'm using is this Himiway here, the Himiway Cruiser, and so far it's been a good bike. And we'll go from there, and then I'll start showing you the equipment and the demos later. Okay, we'll go over the equipment here for the 360 camera mount. And the first thing, I've got this extension bar here, which extends out from the handlebars, so you can attach a different mounts. And they're an Amazon product. I think it's around $15. Can't remember exactly, but I'll post a link there. And then on this side, to mount the 360 camera, we have a Manfrotto mount here. Get that focused. And that's a regular professional camera mount. You can go with a little lighter duty one, but I didn't want my 360 camera falling off, so I wanted something really secure. And then it comes up on this selfie stick, which they call the invisible stick, because once the camera is in line with the stick, the body of the camera, what happens is that stick disappears. So it's why they call it the invisible selfie stick. And it is stitched automatically in software afterwards, so that's kind of the magic of it there. And then over this side, I've got another small mount. I think that one's called a Smart Rig, I think. Let's see if I can focus on that one there. Yeah, that's one. It's a Smart Rig. And then another pretty good quality mount for my cell phone. Now you can control this 360 camera with your cell phone, so that's one of the advantages there. Or you can do it on the screen, or there's even a remote. I don't have that yet, but might get that in the future. And for its audio, I am using this Harmonic 500 Blink system. Now that basically gives you a wireless lapel mic and a wireless input into the camera. And as you can see, we get up here on top on the camera, it plugs in on the side with an adapter for the microphone. And it works pretty well. You just have to make sure that everything's tight. Now, as to processing, I'm not going to get a whole lot into the processing other than my workflow, because there's a ton of YouTube videos that tell you how to process these. And my workflow is basically, I take the files off of the camera, the 360 camera, the Insta360, put them on my computer, and there's a program called Studio that comes free with the camera that you can do the reframing versus the 360 video, and I'll get a little bit into that later. And what it does, and then you can process that once it's reframed, and then I take it back to my phone and use the app Power Director on my phone to edit the videos. It's just a little simpler for me. It involves another step or two of transferring files, but for me it works pretty well. So well, it's a beautiful day out here, so let's go for a ride, and then I'll do a little demo of the processing later, and also just kind of different ways you can use the camera and different elevations. You can see the stick's about 18 inches high on the camera, the 360 camera, but I've got a pole that'll go up to about 10 feet, and it's a little wiggly, but it gives you almost like a drone shot there. So some different things you can do, and just a matter of getting everything steady and processed right. So let's go for a ride. Okay, all right. Okay, we're still in Columbia Park here. Now, this video I'll make into a reframe video. Now, what reframed is basically taking a 360 video that you can look all around. You can look up, down, all around, because there's two lenses on this camera, and they both take video at the same time. And then later on in software, actually in the camera, it stitches them together and kind of eliminates that stitch line as best it can. Sometimes there's a little blur. So that's a full 360 where you can look around. And then a reframe video is basically you take that same video and then you go through the video on your editing software and you put in keyframes. Now keyframe is you click on the video what you want to look at. Now say if I wanted to look at the little lake over here on the right, I could swing the camera around in the processing software and look at that. Then I want to look at the freeway over here, I could look over to the left and look at that. Or I want to look back at me, I could look at that. So that's basically reframing. And that's what 90% of the time, sounds like there's a cop after somebody there, that I use. I use reframing at least 90% of the time because it just makes it so handy. You basically can point the camera almost anywhere. You don't have to point and click or point it any direction. As long as you have it, in front of you, you're gonna, pick up everything in front of you, and then back of you, you'd pick up everything in back of you. Or if you had it overhead, you'd pick up everything all around. And then later on, you can just choose what you want to photograph or film, I should say. So that's basically a reframing in a nutshell, and I love that because me and my wife, when we're RVing, a little wind out here, sorry about that, you can just walk along with the stick in front of you about 20, 45 degrees in front of you on a stick, maybe 2 to 3 feet above your surface there, and then you can just choose later what you want to do. You can have it looking at you and whatever you're looking at. So that's basically reframing. So I will stop the video here and continue on with this ride and tell you a little more. Okay, we'll continue on this ride. What I'll do, I'll extend this stick up a little bit to get a little bit different view. So we'll take the stick up from about 18 inches. Get that loose there. Now we're out at about approximately 30 inches there. So that gives you a little bit more view, and then I'll put it out of a little bit lower angle. And that way we can capture the whole bike and get a little bit different view. So let's go ride. Now this bike trail goes around the Tri-Cities. The Tri-Cities consist of Richland, Pasco, and Kennewick. I'm in Kennewick right now, and it's eastern Washington. And it mostly follows the Columbia River, but it's about 22 miles around the Tri-Cities. Very nice trails, real wide, plenty of room for bikes, and their electric bikes are legal on the trails here, so it's kind of nice. And I've done a lot of things on this Himiway so far, different upgrades, mirrors, the seat post, the bag in the back, kind of different things that and the handlebar extenders, I just put those on. So with the handlebar riser, I guess you'd call it, it really makes the ride more comfortable for me. So I'm tall, so I was kind of hunched over, but now I can basically just sit upright and really be comfortable. I'm not going into any races, so that's okay for me. Anyway, we'll ride along here, and this will be another reframed video. See if I can get a shot of these geese here. I don't know if they'll fly away when I stop. Hello, geese. But see, now with a reframed video, since my camera is pointing away from the geese, I can in post, in editing, swing it over and get a picture of those geese, and even zoom in a little bit. So it's pretty handy. So I'll stop that video here, and then we'll start another one. Like I say, the videos, you don't want to go more than 2-3 minutes at the maximum, because it gets kind of hard to edit. So anyway, that's kind of a tip, and I'll stop that there. Now this is Clover Island in the Tri-Cities here. It's a historic island. Lewis and Clark in 1805 stopped here on their way to the Columbia, exploring the west here. So Very historic. They've expanded it with additional materials to make it kind of a cutesy island with, you know, things on it, hotels and whatnot. But it's still a fun ride. So we'll go up here on the island and stop at the lighthouse, and then I'll do some stuff with the longer stick. Now you can experiment with sticks of every type, you know, as long as they're skinny enough to hide beneath the camera, they'll be invisible. So in theory, you could have a 40-foot stick that was skinny enough, and you could get up real high. So what's neat about that is you can get, because of the wide-angle lenses, you can get some pretty neat drone-like shots with the stick, and it's kind of neat effect anyway. But I don't think you'd want to drive around with a 20-foot stick in the air on your bike, but I'll put it on here for a little bit because there's no power lines down here and that kind of thing to hit. So here comes a skateboarder. This lighthouse here is not really operational, it's just a decorative thing. It's a nice touch. How you doing? Okay, we'll come up on the lighthouse. I can never go around it without getting stuck because it's too tight, so I'll stop on this side of the lighthouse and we'll do a little stick action here.
As always, guys, it's your niche. Don't make me smoke all this weed by myself.
Okay, this is a video of the 10-foot stick above me here. And since I don't have a long audio cable to reach up there to it for my wireless mic, I'm just doing a voiceover here later on in post here. So you get some neat views with the 10-foot stick. Now this stick is just sticking straight up 10 feet above me. So you can, you know, look in different directions, back and forth and straight down like this. Or you can do like a little planet type thing here. So, you know, you can twirl it around. So this is all just part of the reframing here also. So you can do the, you know, real wide views and, you know, keep it going that way. Or you can just do a normal linear type shot where you're just kind of looking ahead. It has its limited uses because the stick is wiggling up there, and you can do some crazy stuff like that. And I forgot I did that. Anyway, so that's kind of the what you can do with the real long stick. And then you can also just, you know, look out to the side like I'm doing here and do a panorama around. And it's pretty cool and fun. Riding along the Columbia River here and tested out my new handlebar risers. Takes the handlebars up about 2 3/4 of an inch. Well, that's about the end of that video, and I hope you enjoyed it, and we will catch you next time. I enjoy making these videos. And happy riding, and we got a whole summer ahead of us, so we'll ride, ride, ride. See you next time. Bye-bye.